Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to be answering one of the most common questions I get asked on Instagram on a day-to-day basis, and that is, what camera gear do you use? And none of the products from brands I'm about to mention in this video is sponsoring me or paying me to say anything good, bad, or otherwise, but I do have a sponsor for today's video, and that is Storyblocks. So thanks Storyblocks for sponsoring today's video. And wait until later in the video to hear more about it. And also I'll have all the links for the products that I mentioned in this video down in the description. So without further ado, let me unpack my camera bag for you guys. So the camera bag I use is from Wandrd. It's the PRVKE 31 liter backpack in black. It retails for $199 and I've had it for 3 years. Well, last year didn't really count because of COVID and I didn't get to use the backpack as much as I would have if it wasn't COVID. But so far it has held up pretty well considering the amount of gear I carry. The bag features a padded divider which can be removed, and the bag can be used as a regular backpack if needed. There's a reasonable amount of small compartments which is useful for storing batteries, small accessories such as SD cards, and even a power bank. But I do think it would have been better if it's a tad bigger than the current 31 liter, so perhaps a 32 or a 33. That's just my preference. And I think one of the pros for this backpack is its aesthetic and the look. Considering a lot of camera bags look like a turtle shell, I think this one is quite stylish in my opinion. It did, however, started to rip and tear up in the shoulder pads after about a year of usage, but I did stitch it back up quite well. Well, I think so. They did, however, offer me a replacement since it was within the warranty, but they did not reply to my email when I requested the replacement, so their customer support isn't the greatest. I also do carry with me a MXDVS card holder, which I store business cards for when I run out of them during client meetings, and these are a must in Japan. I don't think it is very crucial all around the world, but in Japan we do exchange business cards, so that is there for that. And then I have a MXDVS Swiss Army knife just in case I need to whip out and cut some tapes, or more importantly, base plates. They do get loose, so it's good for tightening those as well. Moving on, I carry a secondary bag, which is a messenger bag, a smaller bag, and this one's from Stone Island. It's called the Matte Bag, and it's from their SS21, and it retails for $250. It's great for my wallet, phone, passport, as well as any other small essentials or documents like tickets or things that could easily get lost in your pocket. A bag like this is a must-have for me because I hate putting things in my pocket, especially if it's a skinny jean. And since using the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III, I do take more photos on my smartphone, so I love how a bag like this makes it easier to whip out my phone whenever I need. Moving on, I either carry the DJI Ronin RS2 or a Sirui Tripod on the side of the backpack, depending on the shoot. I don't want to carry both usually because it's heavy, but the Sirui Tripod, it was $250 and I think I purchased it around 5 years ago, so it's definitely held up pretty well. I do advise you to get a carbon fiber tripod rather than a aluminum since it's lighter, because you can always attach your bag below the tripod if you want extra weight. Okay, let's get into the good stuff. Now the cameras. For photography, I use the Sony A7RIII and it runs for $1,998 as of current. And I have an L bracket from a company called Small Rig attached at all times. This Small Rig runs for $59 and it allows me to maintain a well-balanced weight distribution when mounting the camera on a tripod, especially when mounting it portrait oriented. And it also helps me with the overall grip by allowing me to hold the camera from both sides. The L bracket also has a magnetic Allen key stored right below, which is always nice to have. For the camera strap, I use a strap from Dispatch and Crate Explorer. It's their collaboration strap. It also features a nice Velcro attached logo and a clip to easily take on and off your strap. For my video work, I use the Sony FX3 and it runs for $3,898. I did a whole video talking about the features of this camera, so go check that out if you're interested. So let's get into the lenses. I do own 10 lenses in total and I think that's too much to cover in this video, so I'm only going to show you guys the 5 that I really love and the ones that I think you guys should know about. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys all the lenses. I'm going to bring it up here so I can easily grab it. Let's start off with the classic 16-35 f2.8 G Master lens from Sony. This runs around $2,198 and it's probably one of the best lenses you can get right now. I think it's so versatile. You can shoot landscape, cityscape, portraits, and even vlog with it at 16mm. Definitely a must-have for every photographer and videographer. So yeah, this is my favorite lens so far. Next up, we have a 35mm f1.4 lens from Zeiss, and this runs at $998. Definitely a great lens. The Zeiss optic is world class. Even scientists use it in the laboratories, and it does have a special place in my heart. It is very good for portraits, street photography, and since it goes all the way down to f1.4, it's great for low light. Next up, we have another Sony Zeiss lens. This is the 55mm f1.8, and it's so compact you can just toss it around, which I do not recommend doing. But yeah, it's one of my favorite lenses because you can just chuck it in your backpack and not worry about being heavy or taking up too much space. Despite the price and the size, this is as sharp as it gets. It is Zeiss optics, so you can rely on its accurate and crisp sharpness in your image, and it's good for video as well because the autofocus in this is really nice. It doesn't even hunt at all, so definitely worth purchasing this lens. Okay, now we have this dong of a lens. It's the 70-200 f2.8 G Master lens. It's one of those lenses that if you don't have, you need, and if you need, you don't use that much, but when you do, it's a game changer. So if you need a lot of coverage, say you need to shoot wildlife, need to shoot a lot of compressed shots, maybe wedding, a lot of portraits from far away, cityscape and landscape from far away, this does the job. So yeah, it's a G Master lens and it runs for $2,598. Definitely worth it. I do also attach this plate on the bottom just because it's so heavy. You need to mount it on the lens and not the camera. So it's always good to have this mounted so you don't have to screw it on every time you put this on a tripod. Definitely worth your investment. This is a great lens to have and it's definitely gonna come in handy. Now last but not least, we have another tossable lens which I do not recommend doing again. But this is the 10mm f5.6 Voigtlander lens and it runs for $1,099. It is a hyper wide, so it's the widest lens you can ever get without going to fisheye. So yeah, you can see a lot of distortion, but it's just amazing. I don't know how to explain it. You guys have to see the results, but as you can see, it is not for everyone. It is one of my favorite lenses because of how unique it is. It is at f5.6, so at dark, at nighttime, you do kind of need a tripod. I do find myself using it a lot for architecture and cityscape and sometimes nature, but also environmental portraits. It does work pretty well. Kind of use that distortion as an advantage and make everything dramatic. But yeah, definitely a lens to consider. Okay, so I just wanted to take a moment to thank Storyblocks for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know Storyblocks, they are an affordable subscription-based service to download unlimited 4K and HD videos, as well as images, sound effects, even templates, and more from their 1 million plus royalty-free stock assets. It's such a huge asset to have as a creative, and it does help you to be more creative and save time and complete your videos. It's not always that you get the perfect shots, and sometimes we even forget to shoot specific videos, especially when we have a lot going on. So Storyblocks has helped me to fill those missing pieces in my videos. Also, Storyblocks has recently announced Restock. Stock's representation of people has been one-dimensional and unvaried for so long. So Storyblocks has taken an initiative to change this by expanding contributors to introduce wide diversity of creators and underrepresented communities to build collections that represents those communities in an authentic light. I think this is a great move in the right direction, and since it's going to expand our library and the resource we can use, I'm all for it. So if you're interested in Storyblocks, use my link below, but let's get back into the video. Okay, let's move on to the accessories. I do carry 3 to 4 Sony batteries, the native ones. I do not recommend third-party batteries or buying some batteries from an unreliable source. I did actually buy a Sony battery from eBay, which I thought it was authentic. It turned out to be fake. The review was really off the roof and it was like half price of what it actually is, but I only realized that it was fake until it stopped working out of the blue, and I did some research and it turned out to be fake. So definitely be careful where you're buying. And for the SD card, I do use a Sandisk Extreme Pro 300 megabytes per second U3 class 10 128 gigabyte, and it runs at $200, as well as the Lexar 300 megabytes per second V90 U3 class 10 128 gigabyte, and this one runs for $189. I also do carry some Sony cards and some other slower cards. And I also do carry a micro SD card with the adapter, so it fits in nicely in the case. Speaking of cases, I do use this hard shell SD card case that I purchased off of Amazon. It only runs for $14, so go check that out. It's definitely worth it. Moving on to filters, I do own 4 black mist filters, and one of which is always attached on the 16-35, which is the Tiffin, and the other 3, which is from Nisi, I use for photography. I divide it because I don't want to keep changing filters from my video lenses to my photography lenses. It is way easier and smoother of a process to do that, so that's what I do. And I also own one of the PL filters from Exus. I don't know too much about the brand, but it was $30 used at a second-hand camera store here in Tokyo, but it does run for $100, so it's pretty good quality filter. And all these filters are 82 millimeters, so I have a step-up ring or have multiple step-up rings, and I have ones from Nisi, Rise UK, and Kenko. But I like the Nisi ones the best because it has those grips on the ridges, making it easier to take on and off. But I do not recommend the Rise UK step-up rings because they do shred a bit and it just breaks, and it does have a hard time taking it off and on. So that's that. And then I have one more filter, which is the VND from PolarPro. It's 1 to 5 stops and I love the look of it. The case is so nice and I get a lot of compliments on it. Unfortunately, they don't make that same one anymore, but since I need 2 more VNDs for my projects and my workflow, so I had Nisi agree to sending me their new VND filter, so I'm super excited to test that out. And all of those filters go in this pouch. It's from TYCKA. I don't know too much about the company, but I just found it off Amazon. I'll try and link it below, but it's very, very sturdy and well padded, and I just love the zip on it and how it feels. It just feels super protected and I don't have to worry about, you know, things breaking inside. So that's that. So some other small things that I do carry with me is a dust blower from Giottos. I don't know how to say it, but it's the rocket blower. This is the medium size, so it's like that big. It's a decent size. Really good. It's a bit expensive than the cheaper one. I got it for around $15. Definitely worth the bit of extra money. It's definitely gonna save your life. And I have this Aputure Light, super compact light that I carry for any field light or backlight that I might need. And it's the AL-M9 Aputure Light and it runs for $45. It does have a diffusion layer right here that you can just stick in, as well as these 2 gel sheets that you can change the color of the light. Super nice. And it also comes with this base, which you can mount it onto a tripod and stand it so you don't have to hold it. And it also comes with this little pouch which you can just clip onto the side of your bag so it doesn't take up any space inside your bag. And I also carry this lens hood that you can cut out reflections from glasses. Say you're shooting from an observation deck and there's a lot of reflections, this will help you get rid of all that. It's from a company called LensSkirt and I got it for around $60. The prices do change, so I'll link one down below. And I also carry a power bank from Anker, which is $45, super cheap and a must-have if you don't want to run out of batteries on your phone. So yeah, I think that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video and thought it was helpful, Let me know what you guys think about the lenses, which one you like the most, and what you carry in your backpack and your setup. And yeah, let me know if you need any help, and I'll answer to your comments as much as possible. But like always, stay safe and stay curious, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.